got it now, right?
Yeah, I got it. Saying no. Saying no. Niggas know how I'm bumming, nigga. Yeah. Fuck what a nigga say, I feel like Dre. Man, the game is thick. Suckers wanna play and load my K until that bitch click. Big stick, hanging out the bottom of my 4-5. No lie, if I whip it out, somebody gon' die. Only time you hard is on the gram when you go live. Flexing with a tube but never blam, I'ma blow mine. Won't show mine until it's go time. Nah, you can't hold mine. Yeah, I got the whole mine, I'm on the goal line. And I'm going for 6, watch me up the scope. Caught him at the stove, he was with his hoe. Had to let him know, that's your ass, you don't get it past. You reap what you sow. Why you speaking low? Speak up, boy, you been a hoe. Boy, you been a bitch, get off dick, tryna steal my drip. Look up in the air, you see me, I'm fly as bird shit. Never on no nerd shit, why you on that lame shit? You don't want no smoke, you get smoke with who you hang with. You know what I'm saying? Lame ass niggas talking about they on some gang shit. Nigga, you's a bitch, nigga. Matter of fact, nigga, you's a hoe. Nah, you ain't no hoe, cause hoes get dope. Man, that pussy ass a cat.
We fucking live, my niggas.
Tell him free to act. Dealing free a rat, you know he told how you sleep with.
Heart2Start Fantasy Football Podcast, man. Live from the garage, man. I got kicked out of my man cave, man. You know what I'm saying? Good Chitty JD, what it do, baby?
What's going on, man? Week two in the books. Pulling up on week 3 tomorrow, man. You know, this shit is real, bruh. Man, how you looking over there in the ALB right now, man?
Oh man, you know it's a marathon, man. I'm 1-1 right
What's
now.
up, my nigga? Shout out to my nigga Corey.
I got my ass whooped, man, by the homie Aaron, man. He had Tua and Waddle, man. I was trolling him, but I told myself, man, shout out to Aaron, my boy. I told myself if I run into you in the playoffs, I'm gonna have Tua. So I had to go spin that wire pick on Tua last night, man. I didn't like that, but nah, I'm 1-1.
Where were you at on the wire to get Tua though?
Number 2. I knew Els wasn't gonna be.
Shit.
See, this is the thing with Els, man. Hey, y'all, you got to know your league, right? I know having number 2 pick is like I'm never going to be able to use it because Els ain't never using number 1. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that go. That's Beaston right there. What up,
that's Beaston. Me and Beaston was in Vegas together last year for fucking Valentine's Day.
All in that Vegas, man.
All in Vegas. On
that
my mama,
matchup
100%.
preview. We on that matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing about your backstory about Els, though. So
you've been actively trading.
So coming out of week 1, I had an opportunity to get his wire pick, and I passed on it.
Send it on.
I wanted Samuel, but instead I got Dotson staying. I had the 5th pick. And I stayed instead of giving up somebody that I didn't really want to give up to. But, you know what I mean? Samuel done been back-to-back weeks, though, on everything.
I see you starting Dotson already. You confident in the touchdown?
Yeah, I'm confident in Dotson, man. The way that offense is moving, bro, and they got Detroit this week. You know what I mean? The way that Philly was able to go put up 38 against Detroit. Damn, I forgot who Detroit played last week. I know Swift went yay. But, I mean, Detroit, they giving up points. 100%, and Dotson gonna be able to get me at least 10 for sure. I ain't looking at the 2 TDs in week 1 and the 1 TD last week. You know what I mean? I just need 10 to 12 points. I had Thielen in there. He got me a garbage time 9, but shit, I need more bang for my buck. Huh?
Is Thielen washed? Is it over?
Or even Treylon though. Treylon didn't been back to back. At least 5 targets. At least 5 targets. Good looking, brody. Oh, my mama. That's my nigga right there, bro. Treylon done been back-to-back at least 5 targets in the last 2 games with 4 receptions and over 50 yards. You know, we waiting on that breakout, but they got the Raiders this week. The Raiders is doing Raider things. You know what I mean? I could slide Treylon in there. In the 14-team league, or either in the 14-team Heart2Start or in the Superflex Heart2Start, I'm throwing Treylon in there this week. 100% to see what I can get going against the Raiders.
We'll talk about that game. The over-under is pretty nice too, so I can definitely see where you at with that. I got my reservations and ideas about that too, but we'll definitely talk about it. let's get into it, man. Again, we on them week 3
Hey, is my
matchups.
sound all right?
Yeah, you good.
My bad.
So the Thursday night game, who we got?
Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Steelers versus the Browns.
Thug.
Over under is a whopping 38 and a half.
So what you on? You on the over on that one?
The over under, I would take the under.
You gonna take the under on that?
Yeah, they not scoring no points, bro. I'm ready to see Kenny Pickett.
Man,
I'm tired of looking at these. Mitch Trubisky throws 20 yards, biggest pass 20 yards. Hey, Pickett, man. Let's see Pickett, man. Mitch ain't it, man. And I ain't even no Steelers fan. They was supposed to go get New England. But you can't never count out Belichick, but yeah, I don't believe it's an under. And I was definitely wrong about Hunt and Chubb, though. I said Hunt is his game proof, and I liked him more than Chubb. I'm eating my words now.
And that's why I would have to take the over on this based on what I seen from Chubb in the first 2 weeks. You give me $1.41 with no tutties. Now you come back with a 80-yard 3 tutties. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if it was against the Jets. You know what I mean? 100%, man. He's going crazy every time he touched that motherfucking ball, doggy, on everything. And he can hit from anywhere on the field, So give me the over on that. But I got a question for you in this game, though. I don't know how many shares you got of Deontay, whether it be, a lot, a little, 0 or none. But 0. Okay, there it is there. But if you did have shares of him or a share of him, would you start him? Would you feel comfortable in starting him this week?
I mean, you ain't never not playing Deontay if you drafted him. You always got to play.
What about Najee?
You always got to play him. It's a wrap. You stuck playing them. You stuck playing Deontay, who thrives on the deep ball.
Okay, so if either one of them, because we do swerve, even though we haven't touched on swerve in a long time, but if either one of them hit tomorrow, or are you trying to swerve on them? If one of them bang, are you trying to swerve on them to get up out of them? Because the way of the performances, even though the volume is there, but we just ain't got the bang out of them.
I'd rather trade Najee than trade Deontay because going to be in the court, and I want to see Pickett and those having a little technical difficulties, y'all. Can you hear us? Are we back? Back?
Good.
We back. I'd rather trade Najee. I'd rather trade Najee Harris right now. I know the value. You still got him. The foot injury scares. Get him out of there. I keep Deontay just because you're not going to get the value for him that you spent on him. You're more likely to get that value from Najee Harris. But I believe that Pickett is going to be starting. I've been saying that since pre-draft. Come on, Trubisky, no Sirski.
No, I ain't mad at that. Especially if they lose tomorrow. What that put them at 1-2 if they lose tomorrow? Yeah. If they go at least 2 more games, especially the way the offense is looking, the defense carried them. I think that the defense had 5 turnovers in that game. It took them to overtime to go ahead and get the win get the win, against Cincinnati, division rival, It ain't shaking too well, So yeah, it might be time to go ahead and get the fella in here. But on the Browns side,
time is coming.
The time is coming. I ain't mad at that. But on the Brown side, though, you said that about Chubb, though. But is Hunt still in the mix for a flex play every week?
I play it out every week, especially when I think it's a little tough. Like it's gonna be a Chubb every week. division games, any games. I'm playing Chuck every week. But I will say this. I feel like, I mean, Hunt. We talking about Hunt.
Yeah.
Hunt, I think with Hunt, you got him in later rounds, so you're not forced to play him like a player like Deontay Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like you
I
built
feel
your
that.
team around somebody like chances are if you're starting Hunt, it's because you went, wide receiver heavy, and maybe he's your second running back, which is a great thing to have.
Hero RB too, though.
Am I
You
playing
had
him in the flex over wide receivers that I like? No. I mean the top 20 players right now are wide receivers.
facts.
They ain't running backs. Will
Yeah,
the
nah,
streak
definitely.
stay? Probably not. It's a long season, but I mean, shit. If we going on, what's going on? I don't. Man, stay away from the. If Mitch is there, stay. Only person I really like on Pittsburgh right now. I know we switching over to talking about the Steelers. Is Pat Firemove.
Nah,
12 to 14 points every game, every fantasy game.
definitely. No, and I think Firemouth is a top 5 tight end right now. He the number 6 overall tight end right now. Because the volume is there, and the volume is being efficient. You know what I mean? So they connecting, and even if it was a quarterback change, I feel confident enough that the volume is still and the efficiency will still be there if there was a quarterback change with Firemouth.
Exactly. He's good regardless, and I believe that. You know what I'm saying on that side of it. But again, swerve. I'm swerving on Najee. I actually traded Najee before the season started. We drafted. I did. I probably traded him 2 days later because I didn't know about. I didn't know he hurt it in preseason and it was sprained. You know what I'm saying? So I had to dip on him, bro. I was out of there. Let's jump to the next one. We got somebody that's gonna pop a question and we'll answer that as soon as it comes up. Houston versus Chicago over under 40 and a half. You got any players? Is Mooney approaching droppable at this point?
You know, Mooney he crept into some people's number 12 ranking. They thought that Mooney can have a breakout season, which we only in week 2, but the first 2 weeks it shows that Fields is not looking for Mooney like that, bro. He's I don't David Montgomery had a hell of a game last week, the first game of the season in the monsoon. We knew they wasn't gonna be there. We seen Dante Pettis and St. Brown, big brother to Amon Rock, do his thing. You know what I mean? Be a recipient of of a TD, but for Mooney, bro, he's not startable at all right now, bro.
None of the Bears.
100%. It hurts
Montgomery.
because
You
Montgomery.
no, I was saying Montgomery down there lead them in receiving.
That shit is crazy. And Herbert,
Damn near.
Herbert and Montgomery split in week 1, but Montgomery was the lead dog in week 2. You know what I mean? So with him being able to be that PPR threat, and him being able to be slip down into the 4th and 5th round, man, three running backs hopefully in the first 5 rounds. That Montgomery, hopefully, what we seen last week is what we see going on for the rest of the season.
People jumped on the Herbert train quick, just after 1 week, thinking, "Oh, I don't trust anybody in that backfield. I don't trust anybody on the Bears offense at all." I was big on Cole Kmet. I had him in the top 12. He was my sleeper. Here it is, week 2, and I've let you all down. But the only thing that's saving it is that people like Hawkinson not doing anything, Schultz not really doing anything. So it's one of those seasons right now. If you don't got Kelsey or Waller
Waller,
or
bruh. Fucking
that's it.
Gerald Everett. Once we get to the Chargers,
Andrews,
Gerald Everett, he's looking like he's a must motherfucking fire up.
Andrews.
Andrews off top. Fucking Conklin. Hayden Hurst, Hemsley. Shout out to Bogey. You know what I mean? There's some tight end sleepers out there. Even LT, Logan Thomas. I mean, Logan Thomas is looking great right now, bro. That whole Washington offense, we're going to get to them in a minute too here. But they got like 4-5 viable people right now in fantasy that's relevant in the first 2 weeks, bro. And they got a good shootout this week against the fucking Lions. Go to trade right there.
We definitely gonna talk about that because I got a lot of interesting things that I love about the Lions for sure. Let's pop out this trade right here. Okay. I traded JT, Schultz, and Hollywood for Cooper Kupp, Cordero Patterson, Gerald Everett. Okay. All right. JT, Schultz. Okay. Can't argue that. Gerald Everett. Starting wide receivers are Diggs and Tyreek. Running back 2 is Antonio Gibson. Backup wide receivers are MT, Pittman, and Deontay. God damn, it sounds like you got a championship team already.
Yeah,
what are we doing
you
here?
over there stacked over there, my guy. Oh, my
You know what
mama.
I'm
And you
saying?
whooped them on the trade, too, though.
Yeah,
Pittman,
I like
MT,
that
and
trade.
Cup.
I like the trade because, obviously somebody, you had JT, you probably drafted him top 4, top 3, top 2, top 1. I mean, come on. Cup is doing what he do. He's worth every bit of the number 1 overall pick if we restarted the draft right now. So you can't go wrong in that situation for sure. Backup running backs are Penny, B-Rob, Mostert. Wondering who to trade now. Okay, so I see where you at. You have a lot of wide receivers. I'm looking to package Pittman. So I look at it like this, right? So if you're going to trade for a running back, obviously that's where you look like you want to improve at, right? If you're going to trade at running back, that means you're going to, need to give a running back to somebody with lesser value than the running back you're trading for and give up a wide receiver to pair with that. You get what I'm saying? Like a 2 and 2. You follow me, right, JD? Is that kind of how you look at it too? You got to do that. Unless somebody is just stacked at running back, you're probably not. You know what I'm saying? So 10-man PPR. I'm looking to go see who has weak spots at receiver.
Right. No, definitely. I agree with that. But I got a question for you, though, Cuzzo. He got Gibson, Corduroy, Pimpin' Patterson, Penny, B-Rob, and Mostert. Out of them running backs, what 2 would you keep, and which one would be the one that you would package with a receiver to try and upgrade at running back?
Well, first off, you're not going to be able to trade Penny for nothing, not even for a penny right now, right? B-Rob, I'm assuming we're talking about Brian Robinson.
Right.
You're going to keep him tucked because you got Antonio Gibson, so we keeping him. Mostert, you can keep just because I don't think anybody's going to get hyped off of that. So you're kind of left with, damn, you can't trade any running backs realistically. Maybe Cordero Patterson, but then you're still in the same situation. I'm looking to give up Cordero Patterson and maybe Michael Pittman or Mike Thomas for a higher caliber running back, a 2-for-1. Have them throw in the second person that they throw in, have it look like somebody, maybe a flyer running back or something that of your need. That's what I'm looking to do because you're deep at receiver. If you lose Michael Pittman, you still got studs, Diggs, Tyreek, MT up and down, maybe. You might get more with Pittman or somebody might stay away from Pittman because of the injury. So now you sell MT high, knowing that it's possible with his age and how long he's been off that he might have an injury. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, no, I ain't mad at that. The first thing that I would try and do is I would definitely try and move Patterson, package Patterson with at least one of them wide receivers, maybe even 2. They might not bite, you know what I mean? Especially if they are kind of maybe receiver kind of not stacked at the receiver position and got running back capital. But yet, I would definitely try and move Patterson first. But yet, if I can move Pittman, Deontay, especially because if I got Diggs, Tyreek, and Cup, I'm stacked, especially if I'm keeping Gibson. Then all I need to find me is a motherfucker that's going to get me at least 7 to 10 points because the way that Gibson being used right now, that's what we all wanted. But yeah, you might have to go and try and give up one of your big 3 receivers or try and bring home one of them running backs to pair up with Gibson. You know what I mean? Because Gibson is definitely is a must fire up even when B Rob do come back. But you got to think Patterson is not playing the Saints every week neither though. You know what I mean? They bottled him up, but we seen how he was used in week 1, and then Damian Williams went down as well. So either one of them, I'm definitely trying to keep. You know what I mean? I would love to try and keep both of them and move some of that receiver depth that I got, especially if I can keep the big three. But I would, if I have to bake up the big three, I'm a break up Tyreek just based on I'm gonna sell high on Tyreek right now and keep Cup and fucking Diggs just based on that. I know the quarterbacks that they tied to and the offense that they tied to, they gonna be tied to almost a 5,000-yard passing game, and they gonna get at least 25% of the target share in that offense. There we go.
Exactly. Look, he had no faith in the Colts, plus the ultimate wide receiver strategy. Figure Pittman or Thomas. Exactly. With Pittman or Thomas with CPAT. We definitely on the same lines. And I would even go a step further before we get to this next question. I would even go a step further and trade Gibson and keep Brian Robinson. Trade Gibson, maybe pair him with one of those wide receivers, and now you go after somebody stud, and you could possibly get 2 running backs, because there was a lot of what I'm seeing right now is there's a lot of like teams with like a Miles Sanders that they're not playing because they got him late, and there's those running backs that slipped late that people are still not playing. So I feel like you got action at getting 2. Okay, need to start 2 out of 4. Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson, DK, Ayuk. I'll go this week. I will go with DK and Amari Cooper. You can't not start Amari. I look for Elijah Moore to kind of have a big game. I know Flacco's going to Garrett Wilson, but Elijah Moore got to be a little unhappy. Obviously, that they play against the Bengals. The Bengals need to get on track. They're looking, like that run was over last year. So I definitely think the Jets are going to play hard. You can't go wrong with Wilson, but if I got to pick 2, I'm picking DK and Cooper. Reason I'm picking DK is more so the matchup. And, Lockett had a good game. Now it's time for DK to have a solid 14. I don't think it's going to be nothing crazy. A good game for DK this year is going to be 14.
I'm gonna stay away from Cooper just based on the Thursday night. I think it's gonna be a whole lot of the run game. He might be a beneficiary of a tutty, but I think it's gonna be a whole lot of motherfucking the Chubb and Hunt. But give me Garrett Wilson and give me IU. I think with Flacco one more week, I just seen something where it said that Zach's supposed to be coming back or could be ready in week 4. So with Flacco throwing 40 plus times in back-to-back games, you know what I mean? I think that Garrett is going to be is still going to be a beneficiary of that. And then give me Ayuk against Denver this week. I think that Surtain going to be matched up against Debo. Ayuk should be able to go ahead and be a great beneficiary of Jimmy being behind the helm now. You know what I mean? So yeah, give me
So you
give me Garrett.
start Garrett Wilson and Ayuk over Cooper and DK. I feel it.
Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh,
Remember they laughed at me for that trade I did at the beginning of the year in the SBI league, where I traded away Aaron Rodgers and Mike Evans for Garrett Wilson and Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do remember that now.
And I think they threw in David Bell, but that's a play for when Deshaun Watson comes back. Yeah. Well, let's get back to these games. So look, here we at. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we were talking. Oh, Houston side. So Pierce got more touches, right? Are you starting to believe in Pierce, or is
yeah,
it what?
Yeah, Burkhead didn't get no touches in the run game, and he only received 2 targets. You know what I mean? Damian Pierce, even though it was over 10 attempts and about 40 something yards, 50 yards, it is starting to show that Damian Pierce is gonna be that guy, back there. So you're gonna start to see your ROI on him. We just hope that he can start to get in the end zone and getting creeping up into them 100-yard games. But I am confident in starting him in the flex right now, Brett. Especially what I seen in the game against Seattle. Houston. Excuse me, against Denver in Denver.
Yeah. Nico College, if he's on your wire, go get a wide receiver just to have red zone target. Excuse me. Nico Collins, Brandon Cooks, you know, whatever. He's gonna do what he do. I do trust Pierce going forward. Other than that, defense wise, I see everybody picking up Chicago's D in this situation because they're at home. I probably go with Chicago's D as possible the flyer. If anything's gonna get Chicago on track, it's not gonna be their offense. It's gonna be their defense. And that's my opinion.
I mean,
Las
Houston ain't no
Vegas,
slouch.
Houston ain't no slouch. Las Vegas at Tennessee over under 45 and a half. You mentioned you love Traylon Burks for this game. Las Vegas has been pretty soft. You know, well they start off good. You know, they have been holding opponents to under 25 points. Both their games have been low. You know, gave up
Yeah.
that lead. I look for the Raiders to get back on track here. I love Waller. I love Adams. I think it's going to be a whole lot of both of them. Renfro, yeah, we respect you. You know, you had the fumbles. It is what it is. Shake it off. You get to it. But I think it's going to be a whole lot of Devontae. I think it's going to be a whole lot of this offense trying to be high powered. Like the defense isn't there. You give up a lead, two leads, arguably. You give up one lead. Well, they weren't up the first game. This game you give up a 3-score lead, almost four, really, almost could be four. They got to get on track. You brought in Devontae Adams, McDaniels. You know they already was shitting on you when you was when you had your head coaching stint with the Broncos. You drafted Tebow. This your second chance. You didn't bring Devontae Adams over here to run Josh Jacobs 18 times for 65 yards. So I just think that this is going to be a week. You know, I'm a little biased. I have Carr, but I'm not biased because I have two. I could play either one of them. But I love Carr this week, especially in DraftKings. I fire Carr up 300 and some yards. He hasn't gone over 300 yet. 295 and 245. Big Devontae Adams game.
Yeah, and the Raiders need this win too, though. You know, you 0-2. You made the big splash in the off season with Chandler Jones and Devontae. You know what I mean? We know Devontae gonna be there, even though he had a subpar day on Sunday. But you know, when you got Waller commanding 14 targets and 10 receptions and 129 yards in 2 games, and then Hunter Renfro had 10 targets and 57 yards or 59 yards in week 2. You know what I mean? And we seen with Devontae commanding in week 1. So you know the passing offense is definitely gonna be there. McDaniels is gonna make sure that's gonna be there. You know, we need to see a balance, you know, for Josh Jacobs and fucking Zamir and fucking the boy Abdullah to try and get some type of balance to where, you know what I mean, they ain't, you know, being up 24 point, whatever it was, 14, 17 points against Arizona, and you can control the clock to kill the game. You know what I mean? And that's where we need Josh Jacobs to get his motherfucking money at. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm confident in the passing offense of the Raiders. You know what I mean? Especially all three of them boys over there, because you know it showed in week 2 that even though Devontae took a back seat, the other two boys, they was able to go ahead and shine and do their thing. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a balance to where all three of them eat, but you know somebody gonna shine. But yet it's just, you know, if you got Josh Jacobs back there, you know, a solid 10 and a solid 12, you know, for him to be hopefully a second back, you know, you're all right. But, you know, depending on Josh Jacobs as your first back, you might want to try and get up out of that for sure.
Tennessee, Henry, 2 games in a row, 8. They look bad over there.
So you ain't playing the Bills every week. You know what I mean? And he had 20 attempts for 82 yards in the first week. He just didn't score. You know what I mean? So that's what Henry is, though. You know, Henry started off slow, you know what I mean, and then he just ramp up speed. And you know, and that just shows that, you know, you got the term, you coined the term winter backs. He's definitely a winter back. You know what I mean? So as October, November started coming, you know what I mean, he started ramping up. You know what I mean? Then tires start to getting warmed up. So I ain't scared of Henry right now. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Yeah, not down.
What
I'm not
about the
scared of
pass
Henry
catchers
either.
in Tennessee?
Treylon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm rocking with for the rest of the year. I mean, I'm worried about, like you said, you don't play the Bills every week. We'll see. Treylon, though. I don't want Robert Woods. I really don't want anything in this offense, to be, if I'm being honest, Henry included.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
I mean, look how good AJ Brown look. He's gone. Like, and we got Robert Woods and Traylon Burks to replace him. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a realist, bro. That don't add up.
No, facts. I feel you. I feel you. You know, it's still early in the season, even though the Jags, I think the Jags is what 1-1, 2 or is next 2-0. I know
1-1.
Colts is a tie and a loss, you know what I mean? And Houston I think is a tie and a fuck, I forgot what he but what my point is though is that, you know what I mean, Tennessee ain't out of it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, you know, with them, their offense being heavily based around Henry, and you know, like I said, winter back. So, and then with the emergence of Traylon, if he can start showing up, which you know he's starting to command some of the targets. It's been at least 5 of them, and he's connected on his targets. It's gonna ramp up over there, 100%.
Nah, I feel you. This game definitely going over at least 48, 50 points. KC versus the Colts. Jonathan Taylor, offense product of this offense looking huck. I mean,
Yeah,
Pittman was out. I mean, that had to be a part of it. But you know, you think I can't take the over under on this is hard because it's 50. Because the only way this is going over 50 is I don't know, bro. I'm not even confident in the Colts scoring more than 10 points. What if the Chiefs might beat them 38-10? You
yes,
know what I'm
it's
saying?
ugly
Like
over there.
under. It's an under. It's an under
Unless
game.
unless
Have we
KC just coming out and get the guns blazing. You know what I
have we
mean? KC can't be stopped.
we ain't seen KC since last Thursday. And are we going to excuse me, ever have a true wide receiver on the Chiefs this year, or is it Kelsey only?
Um, as it looks right now, I don't think that one of them receivers do emerge as the number one wide receiver as what Tyreek presented. You know what I mean? We haven't seen it yet. You know, so who you think can step up and do it? Because on my notes right here for KC, I don't got shit for them dudes right now. It got to be only CEH and Mahomes and fucking Kelsey. I don't see no other playmakers, you know, making noise over there right now, bro. I really don't.
Not at all. Indy
100%.
side, I'm selling Michael Pittman right now if I can. I mean, quad injuries, those soft tissue type injuries. I mean, we don't know what type of quad injury, but I'm assuming it's of the nature where it's uncontrollable and you kind of go with how the feeling is. Plus the offense. I mean, you know, he looked good week 1, but that was week 1. They ended in a tie. They playing KC. I'm not playing Michael Pittman this week if he's starting.
Yeah, and then I got on the
That's a
Indy side.
tough call. People got him in the 3rd and 4th round. You benching Michael Pittman even if he plays?
No, I'm throwing him out there if he play for
Bateman
sure.
or Pittman?
Uh, who Baltimore play this week? Let me see.
New England.
I'm throwing Bateman out there too, though. It don't even matter. You know what I mean? So I would probably I would lean Bateman in that situation more than Pittman, Pittman, just based on what I've seen for the last 2 weeks of Lamar and Bateman. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would go with Bateman in that situation. But Pittman is all they got. I mean, you got Dunlin, you got Doolin, 13 targets and eight receptions and 125 yards in 2 games, and then you got fucking Hines with 11 targets, 10 receptions and 87 yards in 2 games. You know, that's telling you right there that you know the passing game ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, you know, Dunyan, I like him in deep formats for sure. Somebody to stash. He definitely looks solid. I'm worried about the Colts. So I'm not worried about JT, but I'm worried about the production of this team, what we're gonna see, Jekyll and Hyde, and that's kind of what we're used to with Matt Ryan. I mean, it's nothing different. It's the same shit that was going on in Atlanta. We don't know what Matty Ice we gonna get. He ain't been worth nothing for a minute. Buffalo at Miami over under 52 and a half. Man, hey, Buffalo is serious right now. I know Tua is looking like he could be a league winner, but is he a must start even against a team like Buffalo?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But see, where you got two at, you just picked him up off the wire. Ain't nobody drafting him in the 12-team redraft
Well, let's talk about some players who people probably playing Tua over. Russell Wilson
against
for
the Niners.
Frisco.
Nah, I'm playing Russell Wilson
Let's
against
not
the
even
Niners.
look. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Obviously, you paying Tua. We're not even gonna say that. Herbert hurt versus Jacksonville.
I'm still gonna play Herbert.
You
Herbert
still gonna
thugging it
play
out.
Herbert. Okay. I mean, look, Miami is about to be something special. Their run game is their pass game. McDaniels come from the Shanahan tree. Get creative. You know, Tua, his arm strength is a question, but does it matter when you're accurate in the plays that they need him to make? He's been making those type of plays using gadget type receivers. I mean, come on. Look where he's from. He's a product of Bama. They make it easy for you in everything you do. That's their run game. They didn't care about going to get nobody big. You know, Chase Edmonds, we know what he can do splitting carries. He's a running back that can split carries and be productive. You bring Mostert in, they came from over there where McDaniels was. I mean, it's a recipe for a whole bunch of screens, and you don't know which one. This would be an irritating team to play on Madden right here, right now. You got Waddle
Right.
and Tyreek, and people who know how to really do the RPOs and know how to run multiple screens in one. Like, man, this is gonna be something special. This is gonna be something special for sure.
Yeah, Mostert did his thing. Mostert had the bulk of the carries last week. You know, Chase is a gadget like type player. You know, like Hugo was saying. So, you know what I mean. So if it do come to a point where the Dolphins do need to try and establish some type of run game, it's looking like Mostert is going to be that guy. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's startable at the flex right now, but you might want to keep an eye on that type of situation right now. Looking at them splits, looking at the carries, but you know, uh, as far as wise as Miami's passing game, you know, you firing up to a, you know, fucking Waddle. He's a top five receiver right now with the production he didn't had in the last 2 weeks. So you know he's looking like where you got him at, one of the steals of the draft right now. And then on the Buffalo side, you know, I'm scared of the running situation, just like how Miami is. You know, you don't know who to throw in there, especially even as a flex play. You're not comfortable with any of the running backs on both sides. Diggs is looking like he's going for the number one spot. He's trying to go get that Cooper Cup triple crown. He didn't like that last year. So, you know, against whoever against they play, you know, he's top happen boys 100%. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then Gabe Davis, he should be back this week. You're comfortable firing him up. You got a lot of shares of him. You firing him up everywhere if he's back this week.
Yeah, you got to fire him up because obviously they knew they didn't need him last week. He was a late scratch, got hurt supposedly at practice on Saturday. Let him sit a whole week out. He good, man. As long as he didn't hurt the ankle, and we know they weren't doing no major practices on a Saturday. It was walkthrough. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was something that was lingering or bothering him. A whole week off, he good to go. You firing Gabe up? He's part of that shit. He ain't. Gabe Davis never got a true chance to be the number two receiver, and as we seen yesterday, it was Diggs. The other day, it was Diggs or nobody. They want Gabe Davis to be a part of that. So, hey, I'm not saying he's Waddle or Tyreek, you know what I'm saying? But it's the same situation with Waddle and Tyreek. High powered offense with a great quarterback. I need a piece
Yeah.
of that. I need a big piece of that. I need a piece of that. Everybody except Knox and the running backs.
I ain't
That's
mad
it.
at that.
Detroit at Minnesota, over under 53.5.
Wow.
Hey, I'm Ron St. Brown, league winner. A lot of people won their leagues because of him last year.
Facts.
And now a lot of people were giving up on him. He was going in that, Mike Bateman, range 6, 7 round is where St. Brown was going. League winner. The clip I
24
love.
targets. Hey, in the last 2 games, 24 targets, 17 receptions, and 180 yards and 3 TDs.
Bro,
St. Brown,
he
bro.
named every receiver picked ahead of him off the head, bro. You seen that clip right on Hard Knock?
Nah, I didn't even peep it.
You never seen that?
Nah.
Man, he sat there and they said to some, the people that were drafted ahead of you, and he sat there and named off every person that was drafted ahead of him that was a wide receiver. And the team they
That's
went to.
hard.
It's a dope clip. I'm gonna post that shit. I wish I had it, but I don't want to post it because I want to try to go get him too. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man. Jefferson bounced back from the 10 point last week. Kirk Cousins was looking bad. This is, division game. This gonna be a game right here. This gonna be one of the games I want to watch for sure. I'm gonna
Nah,
go. I'm gonna
definitely.
go over.
Look at what Swift doing. 20 attempts, 200 yards, averaging 10 yards per carry. Fucking where it's at. 1 TD on the ground, 8 targets, 5 receptions, 62 yards, and another TD, man. Swift is looking like that guy right now, too, though, bro. The motherfuckers that got Swift somewhere around that turnaround, in the middle of the second, man, that ROI is beating the boys over the head right now, bruh. 100%.
Yeah, not Swift. He's pretty steady, but if I got Swift, I'm for sure going to trade to get Jamal Williams. I just busted one in the dynasty that really don't count, but you got to go get you a piece of Jamal Williams. Even going to last year when him and Swift were playing, you can play Jamal Williams and Swift. Even going with Jamal Williams' previous spot in Green Bay, it was a point where you could play Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones.
Well, I
Some
got a stat for
players,
that, too, though.
some
Jamal
players just
Williams got
play good together.
Jamal Williams got 23 attempts and 81 yards and 2 TDs in the first 2 games. You know what I mean? So in 23 attempts, what is that? 11 a game? 10 and a half per game and 2 tutties. You damn right. The coach making sure that Swift is that lead guy, but he's gonna make sure that he spells Swift to keep Swift fresh, because they do want to compete, going into November and December, 100%.
They got enough
Do I
talent to
trade
win. They
Eckler
got enough
and Bateman
talent to.
for Javante and Sutton? Uh, fuck, bro. I don't want 2 pieces of that same offense like that. I
No,
think I'll stay
I
put.
keep Eckler and Bateman. I
Yeah, I
think
think I'll stay put,
Bateman
bro.
could give you similar production to Sutton this year. Very
I'm
close.
definitely staying put. That's a great point.
Sutton's
Bateman.
gonna do. Sutton's gonna get you a lot of points with a lot of volume, and Bateman's gonna get you good to a lot of points with less volume, and hopefully they get it together. Well, actually, let's go to the next game. That's actually no. Hold on, before we stay on that, Dalvin Cook. Are you worried? Take the bias out because I know you just tried to trade for him. You worried about Dalvin? Or are you going to you trying to go
I mean,
grab
the
you?
game got ugly on Monday to where he only had 6 attempts, but they were down the whole game. It was 24-7 going into the fourth quarter, 21-7, something like that, going into the fourth quarter. So, he couldn't do shit. So, but in the first game of the season, he had 20 attempts, 80 something yards. So the volume was there. You know what I mean? And they won, in a blowout. JJ did his motherfucking thing and he still had 20 attempts. So, it was an anomaly. They not playing Eagles every week. You know what I mean? It was a out of division game, in conference game. So you will probably see them in playoffs. So that's a stepping stone for them. Get your ass whooped, get beat up in the first couple of rounds. Boom. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you take your motherfucking lumps and you move on to the next. You know what I mean? And here you go, Detroit giving up cheeks. 30 plus in the last 2 games, I think it's been. This is a tune-up game to get right back up like how you was week 1. So no, I ain't scared of Cook. I'm trying to trade for him in the AOB. Ali.
Nah, run it. I'll take him. T Higgins for Debo. Hey, I
Yeah,
seen
give me
this.
Debo.
Hey, I seen a stat. I seen a stat that had T Higgins and Chase's numbers back to back on targets and catches. I think I might take Higgins over Debo.
Yeah, no, I'm taking Debo over Higgins, especially with Jimmy back. We might see a repeat of last year.
We'll see. Are you worried about Hawkinson?
I've never been a Hawkinson guy like that, so
Never.
never.
I mean, it's time to worry. Baltimore, New England, over under 43 and a half.
Give me the
Baltimore, New
over because
England.
Baltimore finna go ahead and go run these boys out of clam chowder up there and wherever they play at in Foxborough, wherever it's at. 100%, doggy.
That bad?
That bad. Easy money. Like a
Nah.
layup.
Man, you know what?
Who are you starting in New England? What player?
I
None of
mean,
the above.
Jacoby Myers just put up an 18, but he on the injury report. I probably saw Jacoby Myers. He had 10 and 18 his
Myers
last
is a
two.
flex play for sure, but against and for me to say that Baltimore gonna blow these boys out the water, and Jacoby is a target monster. So yeah, I definitely would feel comfortable starting Jacoby as a flex. So that's a great point. But Dame, Dame and Rahamador, bro. It's looking kind of spooky back there. Shout out to my boy Dreams. That's one of his his saying. It's
Damian,
looking real spooky
mean,
back there
Damian
for the
looked
boys.
good. He still had like 16, 17 fantasy points, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 10 attempts for like 70 yards, 60 yards for sure. But against Baltimore, I don't know. Baltimore might jump out the water on these boys.
I
It's
mean,
gonna be
New
hard
England
for
always got a scheme, but I like Baltimore to win pretty hefty in this. New England always has a scheme though. Baltimore's defense ain't the greatest. So if New England can get out to a 7 to 10 point lead, we know Baltimore can score in bunches. Um, I'm going over. I'm going over. I'm gonna
Does
say,
Bateman continue his streak of having a TD in consecutive games?
man, I think they're gonna start looking to get him more involved. He needs more touches. It's too explosive. I mean,
Yeah.
they just gave the game up. Like, come on, let's get our goons. Let's get them active, man. We like to run the ball, but let's get our goons active and keep it like that. Other than that, New England, I ain't starting nobody. Baltimore, the usual suspects. Duvernay, he had the kick return and he didn't do much after that. How are you keeping him stashed or you what you doing? Cutting bait?
Oh shit, nah. It was a few other motherfuckers on the wire that I would have rather have. Noah Brown was one of my number one targets at the wide receiver position. So I definitely would rather have Noah Brown over Duvernay. Sure.
Cincinnati versus the Jets. Damn, look at this over under 45 and a half. The Jets is competing right now. Michael Carter and Brees Hall are continue to share the backfield. I mean, it's kind of shaky. Whatever one survives over there is going to be the one that is going to possibly win somebody some league.
Yeah, Brees Hall on that TD that he had, that boy looked so explosive. I seen that shit come across the red zone, man. So, and a little bit of production that he did have last week, he did show that it's going to be a 1A and 1B situation over there. On 27% of the snap share, he did have 50 yards on 7 carries, you know what I mean? And then in week one, he had 9 targets, you know what I mean? So he shows right there in 2 games that he's capable of being productive in both aspects of fantasy football. So, you might want to try and go Swift for him, even though he coming off a lightweight good game, but you might want to try and Swift for him, especially him being up there in New York, playing in New Jersey, winner back. 100% him and Mike Carter, you know.
Yeah, we talked about Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore possibly bounce back. Cincinnati, I look for Cincinnati to get back on track, but the Jets are playing hard, so I don't want to count them out. Cincinnati's been killing
Yeah,
people on the spreads.
and fucking they played last year. I think it was an overtime game. It was a fucking thriller, but I want to say it was Mike White that beat the beat the Bengals though, and he had like 400 yards passing, and you know what I mean. Ty Johnson was eating into the game, and you know what I mean. So with this being a 45 and a half point spread right now, you might want to take the over on this game because everybody eats beat 100%, and this is the game that's going
This is a
to
big
have
mixing game.
could be.
This is a big
I,
mixing and chase
I
game.
would say all big three over there with Mixon,
Yeah,
Higgins, and
they
Chase.
got to get on track right now.
100%.
Uh,
You know, this is a borough
right
bounce back game.
now. Rest
You
in
know,
peace.
this is a game that you might want to load up on the early games in your DFS. You know what I mean? This
Hey,
might be the game that gets you 150 points, and then you got a couple players in the late game that gets you closer to that 200.
right
100%, bro.
now. Kamara and Pittman for Adams and London half PPR. Absolutely, I will trade Kamara and Pittman. Get them out of there. Two players battling with injury. Kamara's value is with his pass catching if it's half PPR, so you always safe there. But I'd rather have Adams and London. But it also depends on your running backs.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would go with the Adams London side with Cuzzo just based on that. I did hear a stat that Drake London is damn near at a 30% target share rate right now. And with Kyle Pitts dudding out right now, Mariota is looking for London. You know what I mean? And to get him with Adams, you know Adams is bouncing back. And I'm pretty sure you might want to drop us your running backs, but I'm pretty sure that you are right at thinking about for you to be thinking of giving up Kamara, you are right at running back position for sure. Even though Kamara coming off an injury, Kamara is going to be back this week, and Kamara with Jameis being hurt and whatnot, Kamara is definitely going to be back. You know, his status here soon too, though. So I feel comfortable with the Adams in London, especially. I think that you got some other running back depth to be giving up Kamara.
Yeah, no doubt. Um, let's see what we got here. What we got here. Philly at Washington. I know you talking highly about that Washington team, that offense.
Yeah, that offense is producing. You know, Wentz back-to-back 300-yard plus game, TDs plus I think in each game. Curtis Samuel looking like the gem off the waiver wire in the first 2 weeks. You know, we seeing Antonio Gibby doing his motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know Dotson, looking like one of the rookie sleepers of the wide receiver gyms in the classes that preceded him. So he's one of them boys that's performing like the other rookie receivers early, starting off early, catching fire. So you're starting Samuel as your WR2. You firing up Dotson as a flex. The real T Mac or the second coming of T Mac. You're real leery on him. That's a person that you should be trying to ship out. So you should be trying to swerve on him. We are going to fire up our swerve coming up. We're going to get the homies from the league or some of the homies that we fuck with on the shit that we tapped into to bring back the swerve because he's definitely a swerve target right now. I feel bad for the motherfuckers that took T Mac and Logan Thomas and Curtis Samuel and the boy Young Dotson out there, outshining the bread right now. So yeah, how you feel about T Mac? Cause
I mean, McLaurin, I'm selling his ass if I can.
you
Honestly,
swerving on it.
Swerve got to go. Dotson, Samuel, they all producing. Got to go. Get them out of there.
Yeah, that shit
Time
is
to get,
crazy,
it's
bro.
time
Who
to
would
get
have
loose.
thought?
I'm more impressed with how Hurts looks right now.
How can you be more impressive? You had him in your top 5, so he's in your top 3 now, huh? Or the number 1
I
overall
mean,
quarterback.
don't we got a little wager on that? Who you got? I had
What?
Hurts. You had Lamar
Oh
Jackson,
yeah, I
right?
had Lamar. Oh yeah, so what
They
I
neck
seen
and
from
neck.
Lamar last week, yeah, I feel I'm still confident, but yeah, but you had him in your. I think we had them both at the same spot at 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Hurts, I mean, what he did on primetime Monday night, I wish it was him I wish it was only one game because we already know what the Bills is doing, right? 100%. Josh Allen locked in, probably as the MVP. But if Hurts would have did that, what he did solely just him, even though I'm not trying to take nothing away from him, but if he would have had that spotlight to himself, you know, we probably would have been 1A, 1B right now in the MVP race. But 100%, I mean, even though what Tua did in week 2, but still though, Hurts and Josh Allen to me, if the shit continues, they're gonna be the 1A, 1B for the MVP race this year.
Yeah, Johanna Dog. Streak. Shout out to Streak, Johanna Dog. Do I trade Henderson and T. Higgins for Jamar and Kamara? Man, listen, JT Henderson and T. Higgins for Jamar and Kamara and Jahan. I'm taking the JT and the T Higgins side. I'm not really a Henderson fan, but I rather T Higgins and Chase. They got similar numbers right now. I know it won't necessarily last, but nah. And Kamara, I'm worried. I'm good. I do like
You,
Jahan though.
you think that's Daryl Henderson? You said
Yeah, gotta be.
so.
I'm not
Jonathan
big on
Taylor
Henderson.
and Daryl Henderson
Henderson and T Higgins for
and
Jamar, Kamara, and Jahan. I'm
yeah,
keeping the
give
JT and
me
T Higgins side.
Jamar and Kamara. Give me Chase and Kamara on that side.
Jimmo.
Hey, Jimmo, hold on, bro. I gotta show you something, Jimmo. Oh, the light. I I got you up there, big bro. Hold on. Let me turn the light.
You gotta turn the fan light off.
Can you see it? Yeah, it's right above the helmet though, Jimmo. I got you up there, big bro. My mama good looking on that shit, bro. We got some merch coming too, so I got your address. I just need the size shirt of a t-shirt you wear, bro. We're gonna send the shirt out to you right when the merch is coming, bro. Got some t-shirts cooking up right now, so me and Cuzzo gonna sing you that motherfucker.
Yeah, no
Oh
doubt, no
man.
doubt. But yeah, Philly man, Goddard, he the number 8 tight end right now. You know, Steady Eddie is
2X.
what I
I
call
got you,
him.
bro.
Steady Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Lamar versus Allen, the MVP race. They saying that's what it's gonna come down to. We gonna see, man. Lamar want to get that money, and Allen is, he still got that bitter taste in his mouth from last year, man. He's trying to get it going. Is Miles Sanders on the way up?
Yeah, that's my guy, man. 100%. I've been rocking. I missed him in his rookie season. That 800, no, 700 club. You know what I mean? So, I've been chasing that dream since his rookie year, and here it is. My dream's starting to come to fruition. I just mad that I don't got him none in nowhere in the home leagues, but I got a lot of shares of him in Dynasty, 100%, man. So shout out to my guy, Young Miles, for doing his motherfucking thing. And shout out to motherfucking Gainwell and Boston can't wait Scott 100%. You know what I mean? They showing that they hidden from everywhere on the field. It's showing that they got a real high power ass offense, and the offensive line PFF graded one of the best in the league, bro. And in the defense, you got big play Slay out there. My cousin over there making plays, big moves. Shout out to Ellis Greens. But man, the Eagles, they hands down running the NFC East. Can't wait to see them play the motherfucking Cowboys. This game going. Matter of fact, this game right here might be the tell all right here. Because if the Cowboys can't do nothing with Rush, even though they escaped with a win against Cincinnati, you know what I mean? This might be the two headers of the motherfucking East right here. You know what I mean? So yeah, hell yeah. And then Washington, I'm firing up everybody except McLaurin. You can even stream Wentz. You might not even think of Wentz as a streamer right now, bro. If you was a motherfucker that waited on quarterbacks and you took that chance on Wentz, or you just got Wentz off the motherfucking wire, you probably fire him up because you might have waited on a Carr or a Cousins, and you just seen Carr and Cousins last week have a boo-boo game. You know what I mean? So you might want to go take a chance on Wentz. You know what I mean? Wentz back-to-back 3 hundos with 2 TDs, and then he's supporting 4 fantasy relevant players. This might not be an anomaly. You got to follow the fucking trends especially as we get deeper
Got to
into the
follow the
season.
trend.
And Wentz is on fucking fire right now. And then to go a step deeper with Wentz, and we see the shit show that Indianapolis is doing, it might not have been on Wentz last year. You know what I mean? And Wentz had a 22-7 TD to INT ratio, even though it wasn't good. But in Jonathan Taylor, had what he had as a record-breaking season or close to a record-breaking season. But the shit show that they showing right now, on top of what happened, how it ended last year, Wentz might not have been the problem, especially how he looking right now, 100%. So yeah, if you was a person that waited on quarterbacks and you was able to go get Wentz, you firing him up. Like I said, the only motherfucking Washington side is the other team, bro.
Yeah, no
Everybody getting
doubt.
fired up, all the big names.
No doubt. No doubt. Let's go to New Orleans. Let's go to New Orleans at Carolina.
Oh, Jimmo
Over
said
under.
something about a trade, bro.
Oh
Y'all had
yeah,
a trade
man.
with it?
Hey, they both had 10 points though, so it's not too far off. But I'm definitely trying to get something going. Me and Jimmo got something cooking, man. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. New Orleans at Carolina though, man. Christian McCaffrey. New Orleans is back. Olave. I look for Olave to get back on track. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely fucking with. The person I'm worried about is DJ Moore though. How you feel about DJ
He
Moore?
scored last week, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, DJ
he
scored
did,
last week.
but
So,
he only had
you know,
13.
DJ, DJ, even though, to me, him and like how we was just talking about McLaurin, they the same player. 1,100 yards, 5 TDs in the top 24 receivers. You know what I mean? But when you got somebody like Baker, DJ has the opportunity to break because Baker's ability to want to push the ball downfield. So you know what I mean. I was kind of shy on DJ, but seeing what DJ did last week and being able to score, I think that that's something to come.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Man, I don't know, man. DJ Moore, you gotta ride him because where you grabbed him, but I'm a little worried. Um, I'm a little worried about that offense. I'm a little worried about. I mean, just a little bit of everything, bro. Like, I mean, I'm good with McCaffrey. Baker, he worries me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy that says DJ Moore is good. He's had 1,000 yards no matter who the receiver was. But I can't. I'm starting. I can't bank on that right now. It's over. I was a big DJ Moore fan. I had him in the top 12, but it's early. It's only week 2, so we usually don't even get in the swerve swerve until we get deeper in it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it is what it is. On the New Orleans side, man, I love Olave late season. Like we said, I think I'm selling. I think I'm selling Mike Thomas. Honestly, sell high. I don't know how you feel about that, JD.
Man, I'm keeping Mike
I
Thomas,
agree,
or
Street,
I'm gonna go try and
about
swerve
Debo.
for him based on that with Olave and Jawan Johnson and fucking Jarvis Landry to be able to move the chains and push the ball down the field. And if you giving me Mike Thomas in the red zone and what he's looking like, you giving me 3 TDs already. You drafted him in the 7th round like I did, and I was only looking for wide receiver 2 numbers. So if I'm getting he's 3 TDs in the first 2 games, and we got 15 more games. He stay on the field for the next 15 games, and you give me another 7 TDs. That's 9 TDs on the season, 1,000 yards. The ROI it done boomed like GameStop. Can you tell them about GameStop?
Hey,
It
it
boomed.
went
It
boom.
boomed. Oh my mama. So that what I mean, I'm staying still on my team, on my mama, and I'm trying to swear for him 100%. But the big thing about me is just seeing Kamara come back and hopefully getting back to his usual form. You know what I mean? Because I gave up Adams the day after the draft. It wasn't even 24 hours after the draft that I traded Adams for Kamara. You know what I mean? And Adams didn't. He paid off in week 1, but week 2, 9 points. Kamara with a 0. So You know, the trade ain't winning for me right now, but the trade wasn't based on early season. You know what I mean? But I got to start winning some games here. So I'm real
They
interested
say
in
they
seeing
say
Kamara
they
this week.
say MJD sold you a lemon, man. He
Man,
knew he
they,
was
hey,
hurt.
but they said he been trying to trade back for the lemon too, though. So you know what I mean? That's all it was. He just knew that he was
They
a
don't know the
little.
real story.
Yeah, the real story was that, you know what I mean, he been trying to trade for him back.
Hey, well, look, y'all. We gonna give y'all a break. You know, we splitting this show up tonight because you know it's a couple days left in the practice week, and we want to let some news go by in case we got to update y'all. So just like we did last week, you know, around Saturday we'll come back and bring y'all maybe even tomorrow night during the football game. That might be an option. We'll hop on and talk about and finish these matchups. We got about 6 matchups left. We got Jacksonville at the Chargers, the Rams, Arizona, Atlanta, Seattle, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Frisco, Denver, and Dallas and Giants. If y'all got any start sit questions, don't hesitate to hit us on the Instagram. We are very active on the Instagram. We will let you know what we think, you know, and as well as check back in and want to know how you did with that if it worked out for you. Go ahead and follow us at that Heart2Start podcast on the Instagram. JD, you got anything you want to tell the people on the way out?
Man, shit, we doubling back here soon. You know what I mean, to run through the rest of them. 100%, bro.
Everything. Well, shit, man. Heart2Start Fantasy Podcast. Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Y'all come back, man. Come back on Saturday, man. Come back tomorrow night, and let's talk
Man,
shit,
all
man.
you
Y'all
gotta do
put
is
that
just click
alert
that
on.
bell button on my mama. If you
Click
on
that
YouTube,
bell.
click the bell button, man. That shit gonna let you know every time we go live. 100%. If you on Twitch, man, just that shit gonna. If you subscribe, that shit gonna pop up. 100%, bro. Just stay locked in
Instantly.
because we firing it up, bro. We got one more question. Let's answer this question right
Let's
quick,
do it.
cuzzo.
Let's do it. I take Kyle Pitts and Leonard Fournette. He wants Mike Evans, 35 yards per point, passing yards, passing touchdown, 7 points. Okay, so we know receptions, 1 point. Okay, same thing. Kyle Pitts and Fournette. He wants Mike Evans.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Facts.
yes, yes.
Like
Because it's
yesterday.
Fournette. You seen what he did in week one, even though it wasn't like that on Sunday. But yeah, the Leonard Fournette thing is a thing. Kyle Pitts is eventually gonna break out. You know what I mean? And you if you ship him off right now, you ain't got to worry about Mike Evans this week, especially if you was dependent on him. And this could be a game that Kyle Pitts break out in. You
You
know what I
might
mean? But
feel
I love
bad
the
after
Fournette
you make
thing.
that trade. You might feel bad after you make that trade. I mean, look, Kyle Pitts, everybody's down on him. Cool. I will be too. 2 points, 2 points, but he had 1,000 yards last year. So I they got to try to get him the ball.
Oh, they gonna
I
get
look
bro the
for some
ball.
changes to happen. Yeah, I look
I
for
do.
some
I
changes to
do the
happen.
trade, bro. I do the
Do
trade,
that.
and then you can
Got to.
flip Kyle. If Kyle Pitts break out this week, you try and downgrade on him and go target the Dallas Goddard owner or another tight end. You know what I mean, and break it down to where you get Goddard and another player too, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, man, look, y'all come back. He said, thanks, man. Have Cup in the 8-man league. Yeah, you do that trade, man, for real. We appreciate you for tapping in, man. Definitely hit that bell so you can get the update when we go. And we're gonna bring y'all the rest of these week 3 match. Oh, one more question on the way out. Start Wilson, Lockett, or Allen, wide receiver 2.
Keenan Allen or it gotta be
That's
Keenan
Keenan
Allen,
Allen
huh?
for sure. I'm going.
Shit, Keenan Allen back, man. I'm firing up
Yeah,
Keenan
I'm
Allen.
firing Keenan
Garrett
Allen to
Wilson.
be back.
No, but the value gonna be there with Garrett Wilson and it's boom though, because you know how you say
That's a
about
hard one.
Keenan, he's steady Eddie. Man, give me Garrett Wilson.
Give me Garrett
Flacco in there,
Wilson.
Flacco letting that motherfucker rip. Flacco, he going out with a bang, bro. He letting that bitch rip, and they letting him let it rip. Give me Garrett Wilson this week.
Give me Garrett Wilson too. Give me Garrett Wilson. Fuck it. We taking chances, man. Chances make champions, man. Heart2Start.
That's one of our slogans, man. We got that shit on the merch coming. The next shipment of the merch gonna have the logos, the sayings on there, bro.
Hey, Heart2Start podcast. Y'all come back when we finish these rest of these rankings, man. We out.